The country's division is obvious to everyone, yet it goes beyond the difference of opinion. There is a push to dehumanize a segment of the population just because they have a different viewpoint. Slaves were dehumanized with the 1857 Dred Scott decision. Nazis dehumanized Jews with laws ensuring their second class citizenship status in the 1930s. Now, in 2024, Democrats are calling for similar actions to be taken against conservatives and MAGA, and they aren't even hiding it anymore. Rosie the Riveter here, dropping more truth bombs to destroy fake news and propaganda. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get new videos when they are uploaded. Now, let's get into today's riveting topic. During the RNC convention, Trump's eldest granddaughter asked her dad if she could speak for a few moments. She gave a short but heartfelt tribute to her grandfather, who days earlier had come within centimeters of being killed. The next day, Whoopi Goldberg revealed where the hearts of the left, the tolerant, compassionate, inclusive people, really are.
His audience. I don't know any women, and I know his grandchild was up on the thing, and they're trying to humanize him and change your idea about who this guy is. Don't fall for that.
Trump, you're talking about. Yeah. Talking about Trump.
Don't let them humanize Trump? Why? What is Whoopi honestly revealing? That it is imperative you see him as nothing but evil, needing to be stopped at all costs. That way, you'll believe every vile thing they say about him and MAGA without checking out things for yourself. On the flip side, when Hunter Biden's crimes started coming to light, many of which Joe is connected to, all they could see was Joe's humanity, fawning over Joe as a loving, protective father, completely ignoring all the damning criminal evidence against the Bidens. But this didn't start with Trump. They've been doing this for a very, very long time to Tea Partiers, original Trump supporters, MAGA, Christians, pro-lifers, and conservatives. The left dehumanizes their opponents by calling them racist, deplorables, white supremacists, domestic terrorists, white nationalists, Christian nationalists, Nazis, and their latest, weird. Demanding investigations and incarcerations just because they are opposition. My gosh, they're even claiming J.D. Vance is worse than Trump. But this is no surprise when you see the Marxist propaganda being pushed in academia today, as they know if you can cement that division early, you've got them for life. In a Student Life article entitled, "It's Okay That Conservatives Don't Feel Welcome," the author stated, "Conservative ideas do not deserve equal consideration to that afforded liberal and left ideas, because conservative ideas are not equal to liberal and left ideas. There is no legitimate argument for supporting Donald Trump and his allies, at least not one that holds up in any academic community worth its salt." Dehumanization. Realize this is coming from the exact same party who cheered the Supreme Court ruling stating slaves were property, therefore the owner could do with them as they pleased. Coincidentally, it's the same language used to justify Roe v. Wade, also cheered by those academic elitists. Additionally, these are the same people who call MAGA Nazis while treating MAGA the way Nazis demonize the Jews. Projection much? At institutions where their whole purpose was the free exchange and expression of ideas, today's progressive ideology drowns those academic indoctrination centers in elitist propaganda groupthink, which automatically dismisses any dissenting or just honestly questioning opinion. I think Dan Bongino crystallized it perfectly in an interview with Pat Bet-David.
Wait, can I bring up one last point on what you just said? Summed up this way beautifully, man. Conservatives think liberals are people with bad ideas. Don't ever forget that. Liberals think conservatives are bad people with ideas.
Wow.
And that's why they, whatever you're for, they're against. They don't care about the idea. They care about what you just said. You're a bad person and it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
We see this comparison in action all the time. Just check out this video of a guy who went to a Harris rally in a MAGA shirt and a Trump rally in a Harris shirt. Notice the difference in the way he was treated.
Watch as this guy goes to a Biden protest in a Trump shirt and a Trump event in a Biden shirt. You can clearly see the difference between Trump and Biden supporters.
I'm right into the Biden protest with a Trump shirt. Get your ass across the street. What the f*** is everyone so hostile?
Go over there with your people.
You guys are my people. Look.
No, you're not. You're Trump supporter.
No, Biden sniffs children, not Trump. No, stop. Don't sniff. Stop, I'm blending in. No. Why is everyone so angry? I'm just walking the sidewalk. You see how much hate it is over here? It's a public sidewalk. I feel like I'm gonna get jumped out. Oh, man. So when you poured water on me, did it make you feel happy?
Yeah.
I have to change shirts. Can I hide behind you? Okay. Okay. I was feeling crazy today. Hey, come on. It's just so much more respect over here. I'm here for my favorite president, Biden 2024. I want to sniff children.
This division and dehumanization of Trump hit a pivotal point on July 13th when a 20-year-old Biden supporter tried to end Trump's life. But what would push him to that extreme? What would give him the idea that assassinating the president would be a good idea? Maybe from the New York theater production of Julius Caesar that portrayed Caesar as Trump, stabbing and murdering him on stage?
It's an actor dressed to look just like President Donald Trump as he's assassinated on stage. Look as his character is stabbed to death. And there's no mistaking the Trump connection. Check out the unbuttoned overcoat and red tie that hangs over his waist. It's a staging of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar that is outraging many.
If this had been done against a Democrat, you know the media would have been calling for the production to be shut down immediately and the entire staff to be fired, canceled, deplatformed, and imprisoned for insinuating an assassination of a president. But since it was Trump, well, we're going to make excuses and tell the people they're just really too ignorant to understand what the actors were trying to portray in this brilliant and artful interpretation. Ironically, when several companies rightfully pulled their advertising once this play was revealed, the party of boycotts threw a tantrum. Maybe the would-be assassin watched the Snoop Dogg video where he points a gun at a Trump figure, again, to the yawns and silence of media, entertainment industry, and Congress. Or he could have just got the idea from any one of these people.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I've played this video before, but I feel it's worth reminding ourselves once again about the rhetoric coming from the left, as the media figures in this video, and those who share their opinions, all of a sudden on July 13th could not come up with a motive as to why someone would try to kill President Trump. The left has engaged in their pomposity against MAGA and Trump for 9 years, while calling Trump Hitler again and again and again and again. Dave Rubin of the Rubin Report put together clips proving this point.
Connor, I assume we have a compilation that would prove my point so that I can take a breath, right?
Of course, it's Trump is a Nazi time again.
Let's deal with Hitler, okay?
I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that. I mean, that is Mussolini, Hitler-like language.
Trump's affinity for Hitler was always covered under an umbrella of his stupidity.
Echoing Hitler's words.
Listen to this.
Well, Hitler was duly elected.
Right. Echoing the hateful rhetoric of Adolf Hitler.
It echoes Hitler.
That's the kind of language Hitler used in Mein Kampf.
About vermin and Hitler and Mussolini.
That's a horrifying clip. That's a fascist clip.
You're just going full on Hitler.
From Hitler's Germany.
We just need to say, for the record, that the term vermin was really effectively used by Adolf Hitler.
Echo dictators like Hitler.
With language evoking authoritarian figures like Adolf Hitler.
Donald Trump parroted the autocratic language of Adolf Hitler.
Talk about the brilliance of Hitler's generals.
Correct.
If you constantly characterize someone as a fascist, Nazi, and Hitler reincarnated for 9 straight years, what are the odds someone would come to the conclusion that this spawn of evil needs to be eliminated? Trump was dehumanized, so his life was not worth continuing. It's like shooting a bad guy in a video game. In fact, the assassin thought he would be a hero. After failing to destroy Trump with fake accusations of Russia collusion, failing to throw him out of office, or take him down with unfounded and unlawful lawsuits, all while ratcheting up their hateful rhetoric, many of us saw an assassination attempt as a when, not as an if. Remember, the left continually tells us words are violence. Implying a person is overweight and unhealthy is fat shaming. Misgendering someone gets you fired, and dead naming a person is equivalent to murdering them. However, they not only excuse themselves from their own dangerous rhetoric against Trump, MAGA, and conservatives in general, somehow the media and the left maintain we are to believe they are not only surprised someone tried to assassinate Trump, but we are also trying to swallow that it was all his fault. Just weeks before the Butler County rally, the Supreme Court ruled presidents have immunity for official acts, presumed immunity for acts in office, and no immunity for unofficial personal acts. The left lost their minds. Influencers, entertainment figures, and media, and some politicians instantly started begging Biden to order the assassination of Trump, believing it would be an official act. This is how unhinged and ignorant some people are. Regardless, before Trump's ear had been bandaged, many posted tweets and videos lamenting that the guy missed, downplaying the seriousness of what happened, claiming he somehow orchestrated it to gain sympathy, and ultimately putting the blame, no matter what you think happened, on Trump himself. While Trump's language can be controversial, the left has been saturating the media with accusations that another Trump presidency would destroy democracy, as the Biden administration jails their political opponents while simultaneously ignoring crimes of those in their circle. Silences and deplatforms opposition, expands government at an alarming rate, openly and proudly defies Supreme Court rulings, and is systematically destroying our freedoms on a daily basis. Under Trump, our taxes were low and our wages were high. Unemployment plummeted while industry exploded. There were no new wars, and the Abraham Accords brought real peace in the Middle East. The middle class was thriving and the poor were starting to get ahead. Government regulations were handcuffed and freedoms were liberated. Yet we are now supposed to believe if Trump gets back into office, he'll turn into Hitler and oppress us all? We have all seen the media falling over themselves to get to the camera whenever a shooting happens, desperate to exploit the victim. Yet when Trump was shot, they initially covered up that fact. As news broke on July 13th, these were the headlines plastered all over mainstream media outlets. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. Trump injured in incident at rally. Trump whisked off stage in Pennsylvania after loud noises rang through the crowd. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after popping noises heard at his Pennsylvania rally. Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startle former president crowd. Trump escorted away after loud noises at PA rally. Listen. While we are still looking for answers, one thing was for sure within moments of Trump going down. He was shot. I don't care how you feel about Trump. He is a former president and a presidential candidate on track to becoming the next commander-in-chief. Dismissing, demeaning, and downplaying any attempts on his life are disgusting. And if you can't be honest with the American people about this, then you have no place in journalism. These biased, misleading headlines are why fake news is called fake news. It is no secret I am in no way a fan of Barack Obama. However, during his presidency, not only did I not dehumanize him, I prayed for his safety. Assassination is never the way to deal with political opponents. Not only is it morally wrong, it would have sent the country into chaos, just like a Trump assassination would. I love my country too much for it to be put in that position. That is not how we handle differences, and it is definitely not democracy. We should all be praying for the protection of all candidates. That being said, here are just a few Biden tweets that were posted leading up to July 13th. Lying again about saying neo-Nazis are fine people, calling Trump a threat to democracy, saying he will become a dictator and will take away our freedoms. And then there's this one, where Trump is X'd out. Kind of like they're putting him in the crosshairs. But Orange Man's mean tweets are bad, right? When Biden addressed the American people on July 14th, he lectured us on lowering the temperature. Yet before the rally bleachers were even dismantled, the media was already again leveling their unfounded accusations of Trump being dangerous, a threat to democracy, and Hitler. Why? Because it's not about the truth for them. It is about winning an election and winning power. Ezra Klein, founder of Vox, wrote days before Trump's assassination attempt, "Top Democrats believe that if Joe Biden is on the top of the ticket, he will lose, but are also not coming out and calling him on it. Top Democrats believe that if Joe Biden is on top of the ticket, he will lose, but are also not coming out and calling on him to resign. I think there are a lot of ways to say it, but I think one thing that is being revealed is that whatever they believe intellectually, they certainly do not believe Donald Trump is an existential threat to American democracy." He continued, quoting an op-ed by Democratic Maine Representative Jared Golden, which stated, "Democrats' post-debate hand-wringing is based on the idea that a Trump victory is not just a political loss, but a unique threat to our democracy. I reject the premise. Unlike Biden and many others, I refuse to participate in a campaign to scare voters with the idea that Trump will end our democratic system. I urge everyone, voters, elected officials, the media, and all citizens, to ignore the chattering class scare tactics and political pipe dreams. Still don't think there's something wrong here? It's been 3.5 years, and every chance Biden, Harris, every leftist Democrat, and every Mockingbird media talking head can say January 6th, they take it. But how much are they still talking about the assassination attempt that happened just a few weeks ago? In fact, they're not only ignoring it, listen to what Representative Jamie Raskin is planning for the upcoming January 6th.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that
Remember, Maxine Waters wants to investigate MAGA for planning a civil war, while a congressman outright tells you they're going to take actions that will, without a doubt, cause a civil war. These are the same defenders of democracy who are celebrating Kamala Harris as the Democrat nominee, who absolutely no one voted for, disenfranchising millions of people who voted for Biden. You know, I'm beginning to think they have a different definition of democracy than the rest of us do. During his acceptance speech at the RNC, Trump called for unity. He said the answer is love. Now, you can disagree with him on policies, on his politics, on his mean tweets, and even his lifestyle. But on that, he is absolutely spot on. He's calling for unity, and people are seeing the change in him, while confessing God had to have a hand in saving Trump's life. For the left to allow Trump to be humanized in this way would open the door to people actually starting to at least have some compassion for the man who came within an inch of losing his life. And they can't risk that happening, because then you might, just might, see a human being instead of a monster. A real man of flesh and blood with a family, with people who love him, and someone who might just be trying to make it through this life like the rest of us. Humanizing Trump supporters might open your eyes to their one uniting goal, making America great again. Wanting to see her citizens working together, side by side, so all can prosper and have their shot at the American dream. The DEI crowd wants diversity, equality, and inclusion, except for Trump and MAGA. They are automatically inferior regardless of race, creed, color, sex, and gender identity. Understand, to view conservatives as equals, you might start listening for yourself to what Trump and MAGA say to see if you actually agree, or at least understand, what they are saying. When that happens, they can't lie to you anymore because you'll see the truth. And when that happens, their power is gone. Get it now? I'm Rosie the Riveter, and that's my 2 cents. But what do you think? Leave your comments down below. If you enjoy my content, please consider supporting my work on Patreon. You can find all my videos and my blog, Liberating Letters, at thefaxpaper.com. You can also start your own research on the Fax Paper by exploring the thousands of links to articles I have, including those noted in my videos. Sharing the truth fake news propagandists won't. Investigate and discover the truth for yourself.